Namaste. I, JVN Sheetal Singh, Assistant Professor at Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur, in Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science. So, we have started our third unit in pharmacology, and now we will see and discuss the neurotransmitter. So, first, what is neurotransmitter and what is its definition? A substance that is released when axon terminal of a presynaptic neuron is excited and acts by the exciting or inhibiting a target cell. For example, norepinephrine, acetylcholine, or dopamine. Now, the criteria for the neurotransmitter are substance must be synthesized in the neuron. Enzyme and the substance for synthesizes must be present in it. Substance must be present in the neuron and calcium dependent release. Exogenous synthetic neurotransmitter must be mimic the action of true transmitter. There must be a mechanism of rapid termination of action. The seventh step in neurotransmission is synthesis, storage, release, receptor interaction, inactivation, reuptake, and degradation. Now, our first one is dopamine, immediate precursor of norepinephrine and epinephrine. Endogenous dopamine may have more important effect in regulating the sodium excretion and renal function. Features distinguishing from the non-epinephrine and epinephrine is 2 to 5 μg per kg per minute, that is D1 receptor, which done the renal vasodilation. Then the 5 to 10 μg per kg per minute, that is beta receptor, which increase the cardiac output. Then it is lesser than 10 μg per kg per minute. It is alpha 1 receptor, which is vasoconstriction. Now, if the deficiency is there in the basal ganglia, it leads to the Parkinson's disease, which is treated with its precursor levodopa. So the dopamine antagonists are antipsychotic drugs. So the therapeutic use is used in the condition with low cardiac output with compressed renal function. IV infusion regulated by the monitoring of blood pressure and rate of urine formation. Now the isoproteinols or isoprenaline. These are very potent alpha 1 and beta 1 and beta 2 receptor agonist and has negligible effect on alpha receptor. Positive chronotropic and inotropic action is there for the beta 1 receptor. Activates beta receptors almost exclusion. It is a potential vasodilator. These actions lead to marked increase in cardiac output and fall in diastolic and mean arterial pressure, and lesser decrease or slightly increase in the systolic pressure. The therapeutic use may be used in the complete heart block to maintain the sufficient ventricular rate till external pacemaker can be implanted. Now, our next drug and the next neurotransmitter is dolbutamine. It resembles something like the dopamine, but its action are mediated by activating of alpha and beta receptor. Dopamine is a racemic mixture of levo and dextro isomers. The dextro isomer is potent to beta 1 agonist and alpha 1 receptor antagonist. The levo isomer is potent alpha 1 agonist. The resultant effect of dopamine is beta 1 stimulation, and dobutamine has a positive inotropic action caused by the isomer, which predominantly beta 1 receptor activity. It has relatively greater iotropic and chronotropic effect compared with isoprenols. Now let's see its therapeutic use. Patient and the heart failure associated with myocardial infarction, cardiac surgery, and for short-term management of acute congestive heart failure. It is used. Now, the phenylodopa. So, phenylodopa, it is D1 receptor antagonist, selectively leads to the peripheral vasodilation. Its oral bioavailability is poor, hence it is given by the IV route. Primary indication for phenylodopa is in the IV treatment of short-term management of severe hypertension in the patient with the renal impairment. Now, the non-catecholamine alpha-1 antagonist drug. Now, the direct acting sympathomatics are phenylephrine. Phenylephrine is the selective alpha-1 antagonist, not a catechol derivative, not activated by the comet and has a longer duration of action than the catecholamine. It is an effective mediastic and nasal decongestant. Now, next is the methaloxamine, a direct-acting alpha-1 receptor agonist, cause prolonged increase in BP due to vasoconstriction and a vagal-mediated bradycardia. Clinical use are rare and limited by hypotensive state. Now, next is the nafrozoline and xylometazole, nasal decongestant in the rhinorrhea and to check the epistaxis. Now, oxymetazoline, direct acting on alpha-1 antagonist, used as topical decongestant because of promoting constriction of nasal mucosa. When taken in the large dose, oxymethoxazolone may cause hypotension because of a central clonidine-like effect. Oxymethoxazole has significant effect of alpha and 2A receptor. Now, the next is midodrine, a prolonged drug that is enzymatically hydrolyzed to destigmidronorant, a selective alpha-1 receptor antagonist. Primary indication of midodrine is the treatment of orthostatic hypotension due to impaired autonomic nervous system function. Although the drug has efficacy in diminishing the fall of blood pressure when the patient is standing, it may cause the hypertension when the subject is supine. Now, the alpha-2 antagonist, it first is clonidine. It has antihypertensive effect. It stimulates the alpha-2A receptor at vasomotor centers. Central sympathetic outflow is reduced. Fall in the blood pressure and heart rate. I1 imidazoline receptor in the brain, to which the clonidine brain activates the G protein coupled receptor, modulate the central alpha-2 receptor activity. Activities alpha-2 beta receptor present on symptomatic postganglionic neurons. The therapeutic use of clonidine is moderate hypertension to control the diarrhea in the diabetic patient with autonomic neuropathy, in prophylaxis of migraine, menopause, hot flushes, ad- and the adverse effect of clonidine is rebound hypertension. Sudden removal of central sympathetic inhibition result in release of large quantity of stored catecholamine. Due to supersensitive of newly formed alpha-2 receptor, dry mouth sedation occurs. Now let's see the therapeutic window phenomena of the clonidine. It is rapid IV injection which rise the blood pressure due to activation of peripheral alpha 2 beta receptor. Now the oral dose fall in BP is clonidine has lower intrinsic activity on alpha 2 beta receptor. Now the clonidine methyl dopa are used in the treatment of hypertension and dexamethasone Midomides are the certain acting on the 2A selectively antagonist that is indicated for the sedation of initial intubated and mechanically ventilated patient during the treatment of intensive care setting. It also reduces the requirement for opioid in the pain control. Analgesia and sedation are produced with little respiratory depression, amnesia, or the anesthesia. Now let's see the beta 2 selective agent. Let's see some like salbutamol and terbutaline. They are the selective beta 2 antagonists, smooth muscle relaxant of bronchi and uterus, important in the treatment of asthma. Next is the salmeterol and formoterol. They are the selective beta 2 antagonists. Long duration of action, approx 12 hours. Formoterol has quicker onset of action while salmeterol has slow onset of action. Formoterol is used to prevent the attack of uh, asthma, prophylaxis of exercise-induced bronchospasm, and COPD. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Now, retrodrine. Retrodrine may cause the uterine relaxation in premature labor. Now, the beta third antagonist, beta third receptor might prove potential target for new anti-obesity drug. Main problem in this is they are short-lived transit action. So here we have completed this. Hope you will understand some drugs of non-catecholamine. Now you should write questions which you have to solve. First is define non-catecholamine alpha 1 antagonist drug. Then write about details about the alpha 2 antagonist drug. Third question is write full about therapeutic window phenomena of clonidine. Hope you will understand this. For any query, you can comment below. Thank you and namaste.